Have you ever thought about a nation that carved palaces out of mountains and used to say, who is more powerful than us? But when the command from the sky came, their palaces were buried under the earth. After Prophet Noah, peace be upon him, another nation appeared. They lived in a region called Akkad, between Yemen and Oman. The name of their city was Iram, meaning the city of pillars that seemed to speak with the sky. Their bodies were as strong as mountains, their height touched the clouds, and their pride pierced the sky. They said, "We are the heirs of the earth, and we will remain forever." In the sands of Akkad, their cities were spread far and wide. The sound of their horses' hooves made the ground echo. At night, the light of their lamps shone far away. It was as if their city was a crown upon the earth. In their gatherings, they often said, "People like us will never be born again." Their children lifted stones at a young age to show their strength, and the elders proudly said, "Our children will also bend mountains." Another strange belief they had was that the wind was their slave. Their young men stood in the valley, stretched out their arms and said, "Look, the wind follows our bodies." The elders proudly said, "Our forefathers used to change the direction of the wind. Who can stop us?" When they saw a storm coming from afar, they laughed and said, "The wind is with us. It will fall on our enemies, not on us." But they did not know that the coming wind had become their greatest enemy. They were not only tall, their bodies were many times larger than ordinary humans. Their footprints can still be found near the mountains by the riverbanks, which amazed people. The doors of their houses were so high that a horse and rider could enter together. Their utensils were made of stone, so large that a whole family's food could be cooked in one vessel. Time passed and their arrogance increased. Then Allah sent his prophet Hud, peace be upon him, who said, "O my people, worship only Allah. There is no God except him." They replied, "Do you want us to leave the religion of our forefathers? We are powerful. Who can touch us?" Hud, peace be upon him, warned them of a punishment they could not imagine. But when hearts are filled with pride, advice shatters like stone. He went daily to their markets, palaces, and doors to give the final warning. Some leaders laughed, some children mocked him, and some people changed their path so that fear of Allah would not enter their eyes. One day Hud, peace be upon him, went to their assembly where the chiefs sat on golden thrones. He said, "Look at the system of Allah's creation. Your power is nothing." The chiefs laughed and said, "If punishment comes, we will stop it with our strength." A few days before the punishment, a strange scene appeared in the valley. At night, a deep sound came from the sky. No thunder roared and no lightning flashed, but it felt as if someone was calling from far away. The people said, "It is the sound of the mountains." Hud, peace be upon him, said, "This is not a call of mercy, it is a warning." The next night, the earth shook slightly. Only the animals became restless. The people laughed and said, "Even the earth fears our power." They did not know it was the earth's last protest. Then the decree of Allah came. First, drought struck them. For 3 years, not a single drop of rain fell. Rivers dried up, gardens burned, and the land turned into stone. In the first year, they said, "This is a small matter." In the second year, thirst dried their tongues and empty pots struck the walls. Animals fell from thirst. In the third year, their laughter, pride, and voices disappeared. When they came to Hud, peace be upon him, he said, "The time of punishment is near." Then 3 clouds appeared, one red, one white, and one black. A voice from the sky said, "O people of Ad, choose one cloud." They laughed and chose the black one, thinking it had rain and mercy. But they did not know that in it was not mercy but destruction. The sky turned black, the wind became cold, and the people began to dance and shout, "Look, the rain has come." But it was not rain, it was the storm of punishment. The first gust came, and dust and stones flew. With every gust, it felt as if the wind was erasing their names. The second gust came. Trees fell, animals were lifted. Idols, pride, gardens, and cities were scattered. At night, people held their children close, but the wind was faster than their cries. The third gust came, and humans were snatched into the air. Their palaces that once spoke to the sky on pillars were buried under the sand. The storm continued for 7 nights and 8 days. The sky roared and the earth trembled until their glory was turned into dust. Allah said that the people of Ad were destroyed by a fierce, roaring wind that continued over them for 7 nights and 8 days. When the wind stopped, only silence remained, only a sea of sand and fallen trunks like hollow palm trees. But those few who believed with Hud, peace be upon him, Allah saved them and gave them shelter in a mountain cave. Hud, peace be upon him, said, "O my Lord, you are the most merciful. Keep us firm on the paths that lead to you." When Hud, peace be upon him, stood above the valley looking at the destroyed city, tears filled his eyes. These were the people who once said, "Who is more powerful than us?" And now even their traces were scattered in the wind. Hud, peace be upon him, said, "The end of arrogance is always destruction, and disobedience to Allah is ruin." Even today, under the sands of Aqab, their city Iram lies buried, a testimony that honor does not come from power and pride, but only from obedience to Allah. If you like this Quranic story, like the video, write in the comments which nation's story you want to see next, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel. This is not just a story, but a reality that always reminds us that when humans become arrogant and establish oppression and injustice, Allah wipes them away.